Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Yeah, I wanted to reboot the whole fundamental series and look at how you can go about starting digital art and how you can go about sketching and learning to paint. As someone who's done it himself, not that I'm where I want to be, but I'm not where I was in terms of sketching and art. I can definitely show you a few tricks that I've learned and some of the ropes. Yeah, so we're gonna explore color, lighting, theory, all sorts. But today I figured I'd just revise the video that I made quite a while ago about sketching faces and sketching the head. And I just want to make it as simple as possible so that anyone can follow along. So yeah, we're going to be sketching the head. Just gonna get my reference. Yeah, so the best way to actually understand the head is through understanding the skull first and looking at those landmarks. So there are a few noticeable landmarks that I'm going to talk about. Just going to turn down the opacity on this layer. We've got the eye socket right here. Got both sides. Now where this will show up on the face, you're definitely gonna see the edge of this ridge here. So that's gonna show up right here. That's the edge of the eye socket where you get the dimple, which kind of goes in and then it comes back out. But also the eye socket shows up at the edge of the nose here, going into the brow ridge. And so you can always indicate the edge of the eye socket by looking for those landmarks, and then maybe you also see the edge here at the edge of the eye, where you kind of have the bottom eyelid. So whenever I try to locate the eye socket, I'll look for where does the nose come back up to the eyebrow area in which the eye socket is. I'll look for the edge where it goes in and comes back out right here. And then on the other side, usually I draw this kind of circle to help me indicate where the eyebrow starts and where the eye socket is. And that's what I do for the eye socket. So second place that's important to know of is the nostrils. So in here it's some giant kind of shape. Depending on how it's angled, sometimes you'll get a situation where that nostril kind of overlaps with where the eye socket is. Kind of like this. And then let's say we have the rest of our skull. Kind of like that. As an example. But it only happens when the face is turned closer to one side. So with the nostril, all I kind of do is I will just measure instead. So I'll measure halfway down, and that's where the edge of the nose is, and then halfway down in between the chin and the nose, you're going to get the teeth or where the mouth is. With nostrils, or with the nose, it's kind of simple. I do like a circular shape, some indentations to get like the nostril holes. I'll do something like that. Yeah, final two areas. You've got this arch that comes down into the mandible, and then you've also got the other zygomatic bone, which is actually where the ear is attached to. So areas that shows up in the face. With the mouth, you can follow the cheekbone down to the mouth. On here is going to show up roughly here. So you can see that we kind of have this shadow that indicates that. Sometimes you'll have the shadow, sometimes it's less pronounced because it's more darkly lit. But yeah, sometimes you have this shadow that you can use to indicate that. Usually I kind of just draw a straight line for the mouth just to get its rough position, and then I'll detail it up. And then in terms of the zygomatic arch, you can kind of measure it by coming down from where just above the eyebrow. So if you come down from just above the eyebrow, you draw that kind of bone in, and the ear is going to attach to that. Yeah, so you can see the pronounced area just underneath the left side of the eyelid where the cheekbone is sticking out. Yeah, so let's get to sketching. In terms of some techniques you can do, you do a simple circle. You can make this a bit bigger so it's easier to see. You find the center line. That will be the center line of the face, right down in between the nose, in between the mouth. So let's sketch that center line in. You find where the chin is. So I'm just going to measure here. You find the edge of the face. And it's thinking about the shape. If I look at this shape, it's kind of like an almond kind of shape, but I'm finding the straight lines that I can make. So I'm just going to straighten this out. Going to straighten this out. Looking at this side, we can use the indentation that I was talking about with the eye socket. It's just if we measure things. So just going to measure in the eyes, the nose, and a mouth. Okay, how I do that, I put in where I think the eyes are. I'll then go halfway between the chin and the eyes. That's where our nose is, halfway between the nose and the chin. That's where our mouth is. And I'm kind of just following the shapes. And you do end up kind of changing it, but I'm just putting in that indentation. Okay. Now here's where I can start to measure things out. I can look at the eye socket and we can pick out that line I was talking about. For the nose, well, that comes just above the nose, so I can go here, put that line in. I then know that my eye is going to start in that corner. For the nose, I usually do some sort of kind of circle shape just to give it some volume, and then I'll go in. For the eyes, circle, make sure this goes far enough across. And my tip is actually to draw slow. You follow along and draw slow. Just gonna block in the black here. I'm just gonna put in that eyelid here. Can put the lid of that eye just above there. On the other side, what I'll do is I do this circle kind of shape to help me block in the other side of that eye socket, and then I'll draw the eye from the corner of that. So you can see we've got our two eyes. Can do the nose. I even feel like the nose is smaller. And this is the thing, you'll find yourself adjusting sizes and proportions of the face all the time. So I just kind of draw two small ridges to get the shape of the nostrils down. That's our nose. And you can see that the forehead is too big, so you can shrink that down too. Can draw that straight line. Draw in the eyebrows. For eyebrows, I like to make my brush a bit bigger, and you just follow the direction. So I go just above that kind of circle shape there, and I'll start this eyebrow here. Can take the rubber and just rub about a bit of this stuff. And for the mouth, so you indicate that straight line. You go to the corners and I measure up from the corner. One thing that you can do is just follow from the corner of where the mouth is on the photo and go up, and then try and measure what that's in line with. So here it's in line with the corner of the eye duct or the tear duct. So I go to the corner of this mouth, I go down, I measure down, and I find the very corner. So mouth corner is about there. And I do that for the same on the other side. Goes to the edge of the iris. So I'm going to go to the edge of iris. And the corner of the mouth is there. So for the underlid, I'll just do like a shadow shape. So the bottom lid. Find where the midsection is. It's about here. You can draw that ridge or the open mouth. I just match that up. And by no means is this 100% accurate. I still have to do things to change the face shape, because even just looking at it, the chin is too low right now. So what I'll do is I'll go in, find where the chin measures up to, and I'll connect that back to the side of the face. And I'll do something similar on the other side, and just take my rubber and rub out the areas that aren't needed. I feel like it's just a bit lower. Yeah, probably about that low. And then even with the spacing from the eye to the edge of the face, it's about like an eye's length away. So I'm just going to bring this in slightly. And you can see the face starts to get smaller as we start to edit and change things. But this is genuinely how I go about sketching the face. So I'm just going to measure up. It's about the same as like where the nose is. So let's do this. Let's find where the ear is in line with. So I just go across from the ear, find what it's in line with horizontally. It's about like the bottom side of like the mouth, so I could go here, going across top side of the nose, so about here. And you see we get that ear shape. To get the neck, just follow the edge of the neck and see what it lines up with the mouth. So I'm just gonna draw a line there, get this side of the neck, something like that. It's not perfect, but we get the idea. Just gonna take this, slightly bring this across, gonna distort the angle a bit, not by a ton. And if you want to test out whether your drawing's working, just turn it horizontally and you'll start to see some of the things that you can change. With the hair, I find it's like it's making the shapes. Say with the hair, I'm just gonna kind of measure down. Turn the drawing this way, okay. So I'm actually just following the shape and trying to get the same amount of spacing from the face as is on the picture. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. And just sketch that in like that. But that's kind of how I choose to go about starting. After that, it's a process of slowly editing and changing areas in the face to make it closer to how the reference looks. But yeah, you kind of get the picture.